Konnichiwa. I'm Chaplain Mark Johnston, the 38th ADA Brigade Chaplain, and we're coming to you today from, maybe I'll remember this week, from Sagamiko Lake here in beautiful Japan. We're still in the rainy season, so if you see little droplets of water, I'm not sweating that much, it's just raining. I want to speak to you again today about resiliency and talk a little bit about when we need to take a break. Sometimes we don't know when we need to take a break. Somebody else has to tell us, but I'll talk about that. My grandfather used to tell the story of a family that lived up the road from him, and there was a family there, they had 12 children. Now, that's a lot of children. And the youngest one had gotten out in the road when they were paving it and had gotten tar all over him, and the mother was very upset, and she had the coal tar out. This was back in the 1930s, so even before I was born. She had the coal tar out, and she was out trying to get the tar off of that young child, and she was mad, and the child was screaming, and the husband came up, and he was a wise man. He didn't say anything, and he looked over there at her, and she looked at him with disgust and said, "I believe it'd be easier to have another one than it would be to clean this one up." Now, he didn't say anything, but sometimes, even in the worst of circumstances, humor can get us through. Now, I've talked about that before, but sometimes even our sense of humor will fail us. Now, I've been told I have a wicked sense of humor, in both terms of the word wicked. But sometimes even my humor won't get me through, and when I start losing my sense of humor, that's when I know I need some help. That's when I know I need to talk to somebody or I need to get away. And sometimes you need to get away. One of the persons that helped me to see that the most was one of my chaplain assistants. I know they're called religious affairs specialists now, but then she was a chaplain assistant named Specialist Abarca. When we were in Iraq together, we would see some things that were pretty terrible, and we would be up 3, 4, 5 in the morning at the mortuary affairs building doing what we had to do there. And on the way back, sometimes she would ask the question, "How are you?" Or I would ask her that question, either way. And whoever was asked would say, "Does it matter? We got jobs to do." And that sometimes is the case. But sometimes you also have to realize you're at your limit. And one of the ways she would do that for me was we would be in the office and she would say, "Sir, I think we need to have a talk." What that meant was she closed the door, put the sign on it, she laid down on her couch, I laid down on my couch, and we slept for about 2 hours because we didn't get any sleep the night before. Sleep's important for resiliency. And another thing she would do for me is she would say, "Chaps, I need you to go back to your chew and just stay there until supper time, and then I'll come and pick you up." And I'd say, "No, I'm fine." And she said, "No, that's an order, sir." And that's when I realized, okay, she's right. She's seen something that I don't see. And sometimes we need people to help us to take a break. When you reach that point where you need to talk to somebody, the person that I've always talked to, and I'll say this especially to my soldiers, would be the family life chaplain. I've been to family life chaplains many times in the Army, and they've helped me through things. But one thing you also need to do is have a friend, have a buddy, have a spouse, have somebody who you can talk to who sees what's going on in your life and says he needs a break. And then don't be stubborn. Because guess what, Humpty Dumpty? If you are stubborn, you're going to be in for a big fall. It can happen to anybody. The chaplain is supposed to always be okay, but he's not. Sometimes he needs to talk to somebody too. Don't be that guy. Find somebody to talk to or take a break and get away. Youre, ichinichio. Have a nice day.
It's like the swan giving birth to the chaplain. How your legs feeling, sir?
Great.
Sagamiko.
Thank you. Konnichiwa.
Wait, sorry, I was laughing. Sorry.
It's all right.